I'm glad because we want the same thing. We want to get these things done in a timely manner, but I don't want this community to get the false impression that every officer-involved shooting can be done in 30 days. It just happens that in this case, after we assessed the scope, the complexity, the disciplines that we're going to have to rely on, we are going to be able to complete it in 30 days. I will tell you that I've had conversations with the medical examiner, and I've had conversations with the district attorney saying that it is our desire as a police department, as it always is, for all of these, to do it in an expeditious manner. And from our end, we believe that we will get done in 30 calendar days, and I felt like I owed it as a courtesy to them, let them know that that's our timeline, and I have made those calls. The other thing that goes on in terms of looking at this criminally and administratively, criminally to see whether criminal charges are appropriate in this case for the police officer, for the officer, and administratively see if any policy violations occurred. It's important for the community to know that in every critical incident, even when a life isn't taken, we actually critically review those critical incidents to ensure, to look at what are our training protocols. Is there anything in our training protocols that we need to change, that we need to update, that we need to address? We look and then bring in our training division from the onset of these critical incidents, which is something we didn't really do very well in the past, to these critical incidents, with the eye towards what is missing in training, if anything. That's one of the things that we're really working really well with these young leaders here, and so that's going on as well. And so we will report back any findings on that. The last thing that we look at is obviously our policies, our procedures, our response to resistance, and I know that folks want to once again take a look at our response to resistance policy, and that is actually an ongoing process for us. But just as a reminder, our response to the resistance policy is a model policy that was not only developed with the assistance of the U.S. Department of Justice, it actually has the blessing of the U.S. Department of Justice, and quite frankly, it's held as a national model. And so with that, what I want to start doing now is transitioning into why Austin's a model city. I was not too happy when Nelson Linder and other leaders and I, Bishop Sterling Lands and others, wrote an op-ed piece in the Austin American Statesman when things were going on in Ferguson, where we stood together as friends and foes sometimes to say this is not Ferguson. And what really upset me at the time, and it still does to this day, is that that's a huge, I think, commentary on what's right with Austin, good things about Austin. And not one media outlet picked up on that fact. And so today what I want to talk about in the transition to I call them my heroes, is that we aren't Ferguson. We're not another American city. We're the city of Austin. We're Austin, Texas. And we stand together to hold each other's feet to the fire. And if you remember in 2007, I said that what I bring to the table as your police chief is I don't run away from activists. I run towards activists. And these are true activists. So I'm not going to speak to what we have been doing and whatever they want to say about the actual incident, but they're going to speak to what these young people are doing. And before I let them start talking, I want to say this and make it very clear. Black Lives Matter. I know this young woman's and this young man's son, tremendous young man. I know Nelson Linder's son, and I'm sure I'm going to get to meet other family members. And you know what? We stand with these families because Black lives do matter. It isn't an either-or proposition. And I can't speak to the entire national movement, and you know that there's fringes in every single movement in this around the world that are out of touch. But I know the hearts of my Black Lives Matter leaders. I know the hearts of these activists. And what they want is what we all want. They want excellence in policing. And they'll be the first to tell you they all know a lot of really good cops in Austin, Texas. just want to make sure that we do our very best to ensure that we have good outcomes. And that's what makes me proud of being a police chief in Austin, Texas. So with that, should I start with ladies first, or do you want me to start with Chaz? We start with Beauty or Beast? Which one do we start with? Beauty. So we're going to bring up Miss Mimi Styles, and like I said, she is a blessing to her family, but she's a blessing to our city.
On behalf of Measure Austin, the Austin Justice Coalition, and the community that I serve, today we stand here to speak truth to power. The truth is that there is a child lost due to what I say and perceive to be an abuse of power. Today I stand here with the goal of change, change in the culture of what we've known to be policing. We've stood, we've marched, and we still stand here in sadness and in pain and in anger. But today we still stand in that same way, but with the expectation of justice, with the acknowledgement that Black lives do matter, the acknowledgement that Black lives have value. The chief got it right when he said that what happens in Austin, Texas has the potential to reverberate throughout America. Texas has a strategic, positionable, and measurable opportunity here under these horrific instances. We have the opportunity to change America. We have the opportunity to see change in America. On this day, we seek a new normal, folks. On this day, I ask you to say his name, David Joseph.
David Joseph.
Thank you.
What is Measure Austin?
I have to become a nerd on you now. So, Measure Austin is an initiative, grassroots, that has brought together a collaborative approach to performance measurement. I believe that equality can be measured if done correctly. It can be quantified and it can be measured. And I've been given the wonderful opportunity after meeting Chief Manley on a panel discussion and asking him, where's the data? Where's the data? Where's the data? To now be able to apply some of that data to some strategic measures that will directly impact the community that which we serve. What's not measured is not managed. So we believe that by working together, we could make change in that way.
Hello, my name is Juanita Spears. I'm here as an activist, but my most powerful role is a resident. I'm here to make sure that everything that they say and everything that they do is accountability toward the residents. For so long we keep hearing this and we keep hearing this and we keep hearing that, but we don't have any kind of accountability. The chief has promised us that we would work at the table together diligently, that each one of us in our own hats, and I don't have to be a professor in order to be a part of the team. And I just want to make sure that the residents' voices are heard in regards to policies and procedures. Now, the chief didn't tell you that I had an issue in regards to the ethics policy. They said, you'll never get that change, you'll never, and I'm here to tell you that Chief Acevedo wrote an ethics policy in May of 2014, in regards to ethics. And that let us know that he's listening. And so that was meaningful. That was meaningful to the people that really are hurting in regards to the issues of the black community, because we felt like we're not being heard. So when he took that issue and he made it a policy, I took the initiative to realize and to understand that he really wants change. He really wants meaningful change. And I'm here sitting at the table as a resident to make sure that those accountabilities happen. I don't have to be a professor in order to know, if change is here. And if it's not, I'm gonna call them on the carpet. They'll call us on the carpet, and I will call them on the carpet too.
I'm Kenya Mason, and I'm part of Black Lives Matter Austin. And I'd like to say on behalf of Black Lives Matter that we appreciate the acknowledgement from Chief Acevedo that there was a problem in how David Joseph was killed. We, as Black Lives Matter, believe that action speaks louder than words, so it's part of my duty in Black Lives Matter to make sure we hold him accountable. We are interested in accountability as well, and he's listening to the community. And with so many disparities happening in the black community, we are very excited that he is listening to us, but we will be holding him accountable for that. And all lives matter when Black lives matter.
First, I want to thank the Chief for allowing me to be here with my comrades in activism. And before I read why we are here, I want to say a few words, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
The reason why here in Austin you have activists in the police department standing alongside with police is because we're not going to make mistakes of the past where we did work together. We're not going to throw stones at one another. We're not going to keep playing the victim blame game with one another. We're going to try our best to come to the table together collectively and fix some of these issues that we have in our problem. Earlier today at the peaceful protest at City Hall, I said a few things and I want to say them again here. The problem with our society, the problem with police brutality, the problem with racism and why it keeps happening is because everybody in this room, everybody at home watching, everybody in this nation in particular, we've gotten lazy. The media person that reported that he was on the ground got lazy and made up something as opposed to doing true journalism. The cop got lazy and didn't take the extra 30 seconds, the extra 10 seconds, 20 seconds to identify what was wrong with David Joseph. He just saw a problem and he solved it the best way fit in his own opinion. Activists, sometimes we get lazy too. It's far too easy to say, you know what, all cops are terrible, all cops suck, all cops are bad, as opposed to just weeding out the evil ones. We've just gotten so lazy as a society, and we need to be willing to work and have the hard work and do the hard work and have the hard conversations so we can get better. Here we are in 2016, still talking about racism and police brutality. Why is that? Because over those years, leading up until now, during segregation, during Reconstruction, right after slavery, we never took the time out, the real time out, to address these issues. That's why we're still here. And now in a society where we're so prone to just get on our phones and Snapchat this and Periscope this, we're not talking to one another. Because that takes too much work. It takes too much time out of our day to say, hey brother, hey man, hey sister, hey, how are you? I want to get to know you. Can we share some thoughts, some insights? We've gotten that lazy. David Joseph is dead because we have gotten lazy as a society. We don't treat each other with love and respect no more like we used to, or like we should. In 2016, the information age where we have countless access to so much information in ways, in theories and ideologies, we're still here with black bodies, people of color bodies, poor people bodies in the street, uncared for. And it's because we've gotten lazy.